For centuries, Catholics have known that the battle between good and evil is not just metaphorical, it is real, personal, and ongoing. In a world increasingly blind to spiritual realities, how many of us still arm ourselves with the sacred weapons God has entrusted to His Church? Today we rediscover 7 powerful Catholic items that faithful souls once carried daily, not out of superstition, but out of a deep trust in God's protection against evil. Number 7. The crucifix, the ultimate weapon against darkness. The crucifix is not merely a decoration. It is a declaration of war against the powers of hell. The image of Christ crucified proclaims the defeat of Satan, and every demon recoils at its sight. Throughout history, exorcists and saints have testified to the power of a simple crucifix worn around the neck or held during prayer. Stories from saints such as Padre Pio and Saint John Vianney describe demons fleeing at the mere presence of a crucifix. Carrying a crucifix reminds us that victory over evil does not come through strength, but through sacrifice in the blood of Christ. It is a daily reminder that true strength lies not in ourselves, but in Christ who overcame death. Carrying a crucifix strengthens us to face our own daily trials and makes us a witness to others, a silent evangelization to all who see it. In a culture increasingly allergic to public displays of faith, how powerful is it simply to wear our allegiance on our heart? In an age that glorifies self-reliance, could the humble crucifix call us back to the only true victory? The cross? How often do we treat it merely as jewelry, forgetting that it is a standard raised in battle? Number 6. The Saint Benedict Medal, the ancient exorcist's shield. Few sacramentals have such a dramatic history in Catholic tradition as the Medal of Saint Benedict. Bearing ancient exorcism prayers and the initials of powerful Latin phrases, the medal is a spiritual fortress against temptation, curses, and demonic harassment. Stories recount its power to expose hidden evil, bless spaces, and strengthen the weak. Saint Benedict himself fought against poison, deception, and demonic attacks, and the medal invokes his intercession directly. It is often attached to rosaries, placed above doorways, buried on property, or carried secretly. Wearing it is a visible and invisible armor, an act of claiming Christ's dominion. Are we overlooking one of the Church's strongest defenses simply because it fits in the palm of a hand? When evil whispers, this little medal speaks louder, but it only speaks for those who trust its meaning. Number 5. Holy water, the forgotten spiritual armor. Holy water is a weapon forged by prayer, an ancient, powerful sacramental whose effects are real. When we bless ourselves with holy water, we recall our baptism and renew our rejection of Satan. But even beyond personal blessing, holy water can be sprinkled around homes, workplaces, cars, making the physical world a battlefield sanctified for Christ. Holy water wards off evil spirits, weakens temptations, and strengthens resolve. Saint Teresa of Avila described demons fleeing in terror at the sign of holy water. Yet how many Catholics today even think of carrying a small bottle with them? In an age when people carry sanitizer for the body, shouldn't we carry sanitizer for the soul? Keeping holy water near us is not superstition. It is an act of faith, a constant shield. In a world obsessed with physical hygiene, could we be neglecting our soul's need for spiritual cleansing? One drop of holy water may change not just our day, but our destiny. Number 4. The brown scapular, a silent cloak of protection. Given by Our Lady to Saint Simon Stock, the brown scapular carries a promise. Whoever dies wearing this scapular shall not suffer eternal fire. But it is not a magical charm. It is a sign of commitment, a call to prayer, chastity, and devotion to Mary. For centuries, Catholics wore it under their clothing as a secret act of faith. Soldiers wore it into battle. Sailors carried it across oceans. It was a spiritual uniform in an invisible war. Wearing the scapular daily consecrates us to Mary's maternal protection, binding us under her mantle where Satan fears to tread. Yet today, few Catholics even know what it is. Is it possible that in abandoning outward signs like the scapular, we have also weakened our inner commitment? The scapular is not about superstition, it's about identity. In whose army do we fight? Number 3. The miraculous medal, heaven's quick response. The miraculous medal, revealed to St. Catherine Labouré, is a sacramental overflowing with graces. It is a daily invocation of the Immaculate Conception, Mary's perfect yes to God's plan. Miracles of healing, conversion, and even protection from natural disasters have been attributed to it. Napoleon III wore one during political turmoil. Prisoners, soldiers, mothers, missionaries, all found strength through its quiet presence. Today it is often dismissed as old-fashioned, but perhaps it is precisely the old ways that hold the timeless power. How often do we carry prayers with us, stitched into metal and shining with grace? Every time we reach into our pocket and feel the miraculous metal, it's as if heaven's hand clasps ours anew. Number 2, the Rosary, the chain that binds demons. Countless saints, from Padre Pio to Lucia of Fatima, have testified that the Rosary is more than prayer. It is spiritual artillery. Each Hail Mary is a hammer blow against Satan's pride. Each mystery contemplated opens channels of grace. Exorcists recount demons screaming during the recitation of the Rosary. It is the spiritual lifeline given by the Virgin Mary herself, a prayer designed to bring peace to the soul and terror to the legions of hell. Carrying a blessed Rosary, even when not praying it aloud, is carrying a fortress against despair, anxiety, and temptation. It reminds us that the Queen of Heaven walks with us wherever we go. It is said that a single rosary, held firmly during a moment of crisis, can be the shield that holds back an unseen disaster. If we truly believe the rosary was more powerful than any weapon, would we ever leave home without it? Perhaps the first act of resistance against darkness today is simply to reach into our pocket, feel the familiar beads, and begin a revolution of the heart. Number 1, blessed salt, the hidden weapon. Few remember. Blessed salt, once a staple of Catholic homes, has nearly vanished from modern practice. Yet it remains a potent sacramental with deep biblical and liturgical roots. It was used by the prophet Elisha to purify the waters of Jericho, and by the Church to bless and sanctify not only food, but entire spaces. Sprinkling blessed salt at the thresholds of homes, mixing it with water to create holy water, or even carrying a small pouch of it when traveling, are powerful acts of claiming ground for Christ. Blessed salt, like holy water, confers a hidden protection and a reminder that even the smallest things, when offered to God, can become instruments of His grace. Today, in an increasingly secularized world where unseen spiritual dangers abound, how precious is it to carry a simple grain of blessed salt? Hidden in a pocket, it becomes a silent prayer, a constant shield. Have we forgotten that even the elements of the earth, when blessed, become instruments of divine protection? The next time we step into unfamiliar territory, a hotel room, a hospital, or even an office, perhaps it would be wise to carry the ancient strength of salt blessed in Christ's name. In today's modern world, it's easy to forget that we walk daily across a battlefield, not of flesh and blood, but of spirits and powers unseen. The Church has not left us defenseless. She has placed in our hands sacramentals, signs, and weapons sanctified by centuries of prayer. The only question is, are we using them? What spiritual weapon will you carry today? And what battle might you already be fighting without even knowing it?